Marhaba guys, so today as promised I am making Mansaf. I have got my Mansaf meat, I have got my jamid, I have got my kulshi, I have everything ready and I'm going to start making it. The first step that I am going to do in making the national dish is I'm going to pressure cook, if that's a word, this meat so that it's ready. Okay, next we're gonna do the almonds. We don't do pine nuts in our house, in our family, because we don't like pine nuts. I'm gonna do loads and fry them until they are golden brown. I forgot to put onions and carrots in my Mansaf, in my pressure cooker, so I'm gonna have to turn it off and I'm gonna put these in now. So the meat should be done by now and I'm going to make a start on the sauce. I don't make it completely with jamid. I think that other people do use like pure, like the actual proper jamid, and they only use jamid, but I use some shanina and I use an egg and I use some corn flour. And what else do I use? And some semna baladia in it. Stop laughing at me. Some cardamom, some turmeric. What else do we use? Oh, and a little bit of yogurt. People are going to be screaming at their phones right now, but that's what I do. So let's start. As I'm going along, I'm like thinking, what would my mother-in-law do? What would my mother-in-law do? So I don't have a recipe written down. I'm just going by instinct at this stage. So, you know, I know that you're all going to have a field day in the comments anyway. So I'm going to put my jamid. This is like packaged jamid for those who don't know. So you see it coming out there. That's the real stuff. So jamid is actually fermented yogurt that is dried into these balls, and you're meant to soak the balls overnight to make them all soft, or soak them for a few hours to make them all soft. But these packets just make life easier, but it's not the real jamid. Next up is some shanina. This is again a kind of fermented yogurt. It's used as a drink, it's used in different meals, and I've got it here frozen, and I'm going to defrost it straight into the jamid. What am I doing? Oh God, I swear I know how to make this. I checked the meat and there is no way that it was anywhere near done, so I'm gonna have to put that on again. It's about to get really loud in here. So I wanna do this quickly, to do the sauce quickly, while I can still film and you guys can hear me. So okay. So my shanina is almost dissolved, melted even. And I have got a sieve. People can be watching me like, what's she doing? I'm gonna put some yogurt in here. This is how we do it. Put some yogurt in here. And an egg. An egg. And I'm gonna push it through. I don't know why we do this, but this is what we do. I've never asked why we do this. Okay, so I'm pushing that through to make sure that it's really dissolved well. Kulshi sawa, whatever the phrase is. Was that right? Also, when my mother-in-law makes it, she makes it for like 7 or 8 people. And I'm not used to making it for just 2. I made extra rice for the kids because I will feed them on this like all week. So that's why I made so much rice, if you were wondering. And then we put some water in. And because we made it a bit watery, we will later be adding some corn starch. and a Maggi cube. And now is the grueling task of just stirring it and stirring it and stirring it and stirring. You can't stop stirring the laban because supposedly, I don't know what happens when you stop stirring it, but I think that it separates. I have never stopped stirring it, so I've never found out. So I'm gonna be here stirring. And next, somehow, without stopping my stirring, I am going to add the rice to its dish. Turmeric, like a tiny bit of turmeric to just take the whiteness off the rice. Stirring. Looking really nice now. And it's heating up nicely. Guys, I want to show you what's going on outside. Look at this rain, guys. Look at the size of it. It's huge. See that? I swear there's nothing cozier than making mansaf and it raining outside. It's just the best thing ever. Okay, so the next step I'm gonna do, I am taking the sauce off the heat because it's done. It's sour. I'm not going to add any more hamad to it, but I am going to add some cardamom. Some cardamom in there. A little bit of turmeric for the color. And this is semne beledi from my mother-in-law. I'm going to add a spoon of that. It makes it really greasy, but it also doesn't taste like mansaf without. And now I'm going to make the all-important sumac onion salad thing to go on the side because mansaf is not the same without it. And this here is citric acid. We call it lemon salt here. And I'm gonna add some lemon salt to make it sour. These things that you put on the side of the mansaf kind of make the mansaf for me. Okay guys, the mansaf is finally finished. I've got my rice here. I always put a cloth over it to make sure that the steam doesn't drip into it. I only had brown shrak available at Paradise. They only had it available. And I have my onions. So let's assemble it. First we have one piece of shrak on the bottom, like this. Then we put a little bit, what are you doing? Stop. Here's a spoon. Then we put a little bit of laban sauce on the base to soften the shrak. Should I just dump it on top, like magluba? True. Nothing's burned. What do you mean burned? I didn't burn my rice. I don't burn my rice. Some rice, look. Usually, the assembling is the man's job, but I'm doing it today. Bagdounis first, and then nuts. We have a lot of nuts. I think I mentioned before that people prefer to have pine nuts, but we have almonds because that's what we prefer. And then this has got loads of rice in it. My sauce, and we're done. What's that? That's shrak.
Shark?
Is
this shark?
Shrak.
This?
Yeah, lift it up and see what's under.
Shark?
That's mansaf. Nummy. that's full of rice. Here. Hashume. So that is me making mansaf as promised on curfew day 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and bye bye. Bye.